Orlando Brown. I recently saw a video where he said some crazy things.
So you smashed him? You smashed him when it was girls?
I didn't smash anything.
So how you know
we
that?
made love. We made love.
Who you made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you seen Busta in the airport too. That motherfucker tried to act like he didn't know you. You smashed Drake?
No, I never smashed.
Oh, you made love to Drake.
I know exactly what you're thinking. He's crazy, right? However, a couple years ago, he went viral for this.
Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash gooshwash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf.
Recently, with all the allegations that came out with Diddy, people started thinking, you know what, Orlando Brown might not be so crazy after all. So the fact that he's saying he made love to all these other people, I'm not saying he did, but I'm also not saying he didn't. Do you think Orlando Brown is crazy? Or do you think he's actually out here making love to your favorite rapper?
Orlando Brown is finally speaking up on all the things he was allegedly subjected to in the industry. And this time, it seems Will Smith might be getting dragged down with Diddy.
Like what are you talking about, my nigga? You raped me as a kid, You raped me as a kid and you raped all my kids, nigga. And you still trying to get away with the shit, nigga. What do you mean? I'm sitting right here, Every time I see you, I want to slice your neck, You really have to understand what the Bible says, bro. The Bible says, honor your mother and your father for your days are long, nigga. I ain't killed you for that reason, Don't you ever get on a TV show and act like I'm a rapist, nigga. When you rape me, you raped every body. Hoe ass nigga. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Just last week, it was revealed that several of Diddy's alleged victims were invited for questioning, with some victims receiving 2 invitations. Sources close to the investigators claim that the feds have compiled a mountain of cases that they would be unleashing soon on Diddy.
You knew it was coming. The 7th victim of Sean P. Diddy Combs has now come forward saying that he drugged her and forced himself on her. This is April Lampros. She says she met Diddy in 1995 when she was a student at the Fashion Institute of Technology. She says he offered to mentor her in the fashion industry and started showering her with gifts and praise. She says that she met Diddy at the Soho bar where he was giving her a ton of alcohol. She ended up going back to his room at the Millennial Hotel, and she says she started feeling like the walls were closing in and she wasn't feeling well at all. She says he forced himself on her, and she says she was conscious, but she felt like she couldn't fight him off. She said that she woke up the next morning naked, ashamed, and sore. Her lawyer said that she was a hopeful but naive college student at the time. She ignored him for a couple months, but he kept at her, trying to invite her to these music industry events. She basically caved and went back to his place. As they were heading to the event in the parking garage, she says that he forced her to go down on him and the parking attendant watched. She says after that night, she kept refusing all of his invites. He got extremely upset with her and was even threatening to blacklist her. Fast forward a couple more years to 1996, Diddy was still calling her. He somehow convinced her again to come over to his place, where she then met Kim Porter. She says that Diddy forced her to take ecstasy and then have intercourse basically with Kim while he watched, and then he forced himself on her again. She says that she broke things off for good in 1998, but she did have another run-in with Kim Porter. She says that Kim came into the restaurant that she was working at, told her boss that she had poisoned Kim, and ended up getting fired. She says she did see him again in 2000 or 2001 at Rockefeller Center when he was dating J-Lo. He ended up going back to her apartment with her, tried to force himself on her again, but she said this time she was able to fight him off and he did leave. She says that last year, her boyfriend at the time ran into someone who said that they had seen sex tapes of Diddy and April. April now believes that Diddy had recorded what he did to her and had shown multiple people.
And just when you thought no one could come out with any fresh accusation that would blow anyone's mind, after all, we've seen it and heard it all, Orlando Brown hops onto the scene. The former Disney star has made some allegations that are jaw-dropping at best and heart-wrenching at worst. His latest revelations might not have legal ramifications for Diddy, but could point the feds in a direction that they probably weren't looking at and give them fresh insights into the whole Diddy saga. So what did Orlando Brown reveal about Diddy this time? And how does his expose help the feds' case?
You a up person, my nigga. You a up person. Yes, Will Smith is Michael Jackson, my nigga. This shit got me bro.
Orlando Brown is in the news again, and this time for the right reasons. The 36-year-old actor, famous for some wild allegations in the past, has opened up on some shady secrets in the industry, and it's mind-blowing. According to multiple unconfirmed sources, the actor opened Pandora's box so that other upcoming actors and entertainers would take note and be careful. In a recent interview, Brown recounted an encounter with Diddy and Will Smith, and it all makes sense now.
This whole Will Smith shit. You feel me? Hey man, that nigga Michael Jackson, bro. You feel me? That nigga Michael Jackson, bro. That nigga set me up, bro. On everything I love, the nigga set me up, bro. You feel me? That nigga is tripping, bro. That nigga be on some other shit, my nigga. Like straight. What are you talking about, my nigga? You raped me as a kid, you nigga. You raped me as a kid and you raped all my kids, nigga. And you still trying to get away with the shit, nigga. What do you mean? I'm sitting right here.
Well, it appears Orlando Brown was right after all, because a few men have sued Diddy for sexually assaulting them. However, Brown doesn't have a bone to pick with Diddy. In fact, he expressed his love for the rapper both literally and metaphorically, and he even came to his defense when the feds raided his homes in LA and Miami. He also once cautioned the music mogul to be wary of the people around him because they don't want him to be happy.
I mean, but that couch is just not for some people. When you tap out, bro, you tap out. You know what I'm saying? And that was me. That's why I apologize and I appreciate you allowing me, because I couldn't, you know? It's like, dude, when you get happy, you get happy. Some people, they get happy and they don't know how to be like, all right, man, I'm happy right now in this moment, but, you know, I gotta watch who's around me. You know, some people just don't want to look at you being who you are in your aspect. A lot of people around Diddy, they're just like that, bro. They don't want to see him be happy. They don't want to see a lot of people be happy, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not just gonna be a Diddy fan the whole time, bro. He fucked up. We not just with him for no reason. You know what I'm saying? He did fuck up. It's not cute. It's not funny. You know, you have to deal with that. But at the same time, I'm with you. I love you. But you in trouble.
In any case, Orlando has purportedly claimed that Will Smith gave his body to Diddy and his ilk while both of them were still young. In his estimation, that was a key part of an elaborate initiation process into the Illuminati to give both men unfettered power and extreme success.
Like, nigga, everybody knows I'm married to Will Smith. I just divorced Will Smith. Everybody knows that.
What's more, Diddy's own best friend also came out and revealed that the actor is indeed interested in men.
Now, I'm not the one to gossip, but word on the street is that Dwayne Martin and Will Smith was in a relationship, guys. Now, Tisha Campbell accused Will of having an affair with her husband. She also reported that her husband and Will would often go on vacations together and stay long lengths of time. So guys, do you think that's best friends hanging out together? Or could it be something fishy? Now, a few big names in Hollywood has been named as being bisexual. And y'all, Will and Jada was named among them. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being bisexual or whatever you want to be, but I'm just letting you know what the word is on the street. All right, guys, you know how we do it. Leave a comment below and let's discuss this mess. Bye.
Diddy and Will Smith came into the industry about the same time, but Diddy was the first to achieve fame between the two. Now, follow the story carefully, or you might miss out on some key points. Will Smith achieved relative fame when he first starred in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but it wasn't until his performance in the 1995 Bad Boys movie that he achieved worldwide prominence. Before then, Bad Boy Records had already achieved fame in 1994 with its release of Craig Mack's smash hit single, Flavor in Your Ear, and its subsequent remix with Busta Rhymes. According to Busta Rhymes, the music was so popular in the hood that anyone who wasn't playing it was thought to be crazy.
Well, you know, if I recall correctly, the last couple dead bad guys belong to you. Please, you ain't even trying to compare body counts, swine.
So Brown purportedly believes that Will Smith, who was struggling to achieve the kind of fame that Diddy had chalked at the time, sought out the music mogul to help him out. Diddy then apparently introduced the then 25-year-old Will Smith to his group of Illuminati friends who took him through the elaborate ritual. Diddy himself had allegedly been a victim of that ritual, which catapulted him to success. Before fame, the business mogul was just an intern at Uptown Records, in charge charge of artists and repertoire. He worked with Mary J. Blige, Jodeci, and Notorious Big, but a falling out with his boss, Andre Harrell, led to his firing in 1993. Diddy's job loss disturbed him so much that he contemplated taking his own life.
I separated myself from Puff. I wasn't dealing with him no more. But he still was a part of Same Gang, and D. Ferg loved him. D. Ferg had some kind of genuine love for this cat, like, yo, we gotta look out for him, man. He talking about committing suicide, and he talking about, doing crazy shit to himself, man. We gotta watch him, man. He don't know how he gonna feed his baby. I think Tim Dog and Eddie F from Heavy D and the Boys was paying his bills or something at the time, and D. Ferg was helping him out. I was like, if that's the way you feel, let him kill himself.
Well, ultimately, him leaving Uptown allowed him to create Bad Boy Records. And he ended up launching that, I think, with Arista backing him.
But see, Bad Boy Records were going to be created anyway. That was with Corey Jacobs. That's the guy who, L. Lamont something, they got caught in Virginia. They was all part of Butt Naked. And this is all documented in federal records. They got 9 16 to life sentences. And they was the money and the backing of Bad Boy Records. You understand? So that's before he even got with Arista. You know what I'm saying? So they gave him the avenue to buy the studio time, to get the money to the artists and the people that they was gonna be a part of.
However, amidst all that turmoil, he decided to form his own label. Thus, Diddy contacted Clive Davis for help. Clive asked Diddy about the prospects of hip-hop in the future, and Diddy played him Craig Mack's Flavor in Your Ear, plus a few tracks from Notorious Big, and Clive Davis was convinced. He then introduced Diddy to his circle of friends, who attended a singles meeting every week. These friends then pumped money into Bad Boy Records, enabling them to release their hit song Flavor in Your Ear. Mind you, that story was narrated by Clive Davis himself, which leaves no doubt about its veracity. Clive clearly stated that he introduced Diddy to some sort of singles meetings, which seemed to make sense to anyone. These singles meetings could as well pass for an Illuminati meeting shrouded in codes and secrecy. Many fans believe that it was at one of these meetings that Diddy was initiated into the secret society. Now, if you don't believe it, check out what Diddy's former friend turned enemy, Suge Knight, had to say. In a recent interview with Patrick Ben-David on his PBD podcast, Suge Knight claimed that Diddy was just a regular guy before he met Clive Davis.
I felt that Puffy was a regular, normal guy. And then when he started hanging with the guys in the industry, they did things to him. And then allegedly, he did things to Usher. It goes on and on. But we got to stop this pointing the finger at the person who gets caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Where did it start from? But see, people don't want to touch on those angles that just started being the major executives who run these labels. So you guys want to speak on the people who got thrown under the bus, the sacrifice lamb.
Okay, well, that's actually very insightful for you to give that perspective. So if you're saying what Diddy did to Usher or what Diddy did to Bieber, that we've seen these videos, not necessarily what he did, but the stories where he's living with them at 13. If he was their mentor, who was Diddy's mentor? We know some of the big names. I'm just curious if you have any names. You don't seem like somebody.
Well, for number one was Clive Davis. And you got to understand one thing. If Death Row, when I started Death Row, you got to remember one thing. I didn't have no co-founder, nobody else. So I started that company on my own and grabbed Dr. Dre. At the end of the day, it was like this. When you have, say Universal is one big company. Doug Morris is the man at the time. Jimmy Iovine's there. If Doug Morris give Puffy a deal worth a whole lot of money, and the album didn't recoup, in other words, basically like flop didn't recoup, they're not going to give you no new money if they don't recoup the old money. But Puffy was able to go to the same umbrella and go to Jimmy and get just much, even bigger check that Doug gave him, even though it have not recouped. Only certain people can get these type of favors. Now, in my situation, I didn't do anything to lose my company. I didn't do anything illegal to get my company taken away from me. they was able to commit fraud for my company, but it ends up to the hands of people who wanted to buy my company for $500 million, $700 million. I kept saying no, and then turn around, they can get block everybody and end up getting it for what, 20 or 30 million, which is crazy. If you add all that type of stuff up, and you'll see how the industry been built on the secret rooms. The people who don't participate in the secret room is the people who later on get burnt. The people who participate in those rooms, they continue to grow. Even when they get caught, they're not really caught. Because obviously, Puffy knew they was coming to the raid. The security wasn't there. He used to have like 4, 6 Muslim guys doing security. They wasn't there. A lot of people weren't there. How come people know all these things? It wasn't just a coincidence, you know? So it's easy to point the finger, but let's look at the whole thing, talk about somewhere you're going to educate everybody to help everybody.
In his estimation, Clive might have introduced Diddy to a certain group or lifestyle whose benefits included sponsoring his record label, even if it wasn't profitable. Simply put, Diddy signed a deal with the devil for his soul. But here's where it gets interesting. You'll remember Clive Davis came out in 2013 as a bi, right?
After my second marriage failed, because I had been 100% heterosexual up until that point, that I opened myself up after the failure of my second marriage, having read something about bisexuality. My story was different. I just found that I would open myself up to the possibility of a relationship based on the person and not on gender. And I did after seeing a man or a woman for about a 4 or 5 year period of time, interregnum, entered into a relationship with a man. And I just revealed that because that's what the facts were and are. And to the extent when I was aware, I immediately told my children. My children knew of that. My closest friends certainly all knew because we would take trips together. I would take 3 or 4 trips a year, 2 with family, 2 with friends. We would all do it together. And bisexuality, having turned to it or learned to see what people's reaction were, it was frankly intimidating in the sense that the adage is true. Nobody believes in it. And you're either gay, you're straight, or you're lying, and that's it. And so, you know, you get tired of not making any progress. And all that I could say is, I'm not martyring myself, I'm not brave, this is not affecting my career to say, this is not affecting my friendships, my professional life, my family situation. But if society is edging forward, as it should, on the subjects of same-sex marriage and a better understanding, and hoping that there's no prejudice, that one could evolve as a society to accept the person as it is, I hope that this revelation or discussion, you know, moves it a step further, and that's all that I want to say.
Well, it turns out he had been secretly dating men since the 90s. Though he didn't mention the exact year, many fans believe it was around the same year that he met Diddy, and some dare say that Diddy was his first fruit. Now, here's where Will Smith comes into the picture. According to the 55-year-old actor, his initial goal was to become a rapper, so he contacted Quincy Jones for help. However, Jones invited him to a party and unexpectedly forced him to audition for a TV role in front of his guests. Smith, initially reluctant, excused himself to Jones's library, collected himself, and gave it his all. The casting director was impressed, and that's how Smith landed the main role in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The series became a hit among black audiences, launching Smith into celebrity status.
Play me down there. You know, they give you the same amount whether you get 6 or 16.
However, some fans find this story too good to be true. They suspect that Will Smith, like Diddy, might have had an affair with Quincy Jones, Jones and the men at the party. They questioned the logic behind giving an untested person who had no desire to become an actor the main character in a TV show. Unlike Clive Davis, Jones hasn't openly discussed his sexuality, but many fans suspect he's on the down low. He's publicly married 5 women and had 7 children, but that doesn't stop speculation. In the 90s, Jones was accused of wanting to sleep with Tupac, forcing him to respond, "The people who say I wanted to have sex with Tupac, this is the biggest age of haters I have ever seen in my life. I've been called a blonde lover, a pedophile, gay, everything. I don't care. And I'm not into no men, man. I'm a hardcore lesbian. Are you kidding? All my life, all my life." Fans weren't convinced, as most celebrities accused of being gay in the 90s denied it. If Jones was gay, it isn't far-fetched to claim that he did a quid pro quo with Smith, offering him a big TV role in exchange for sexual favors.
It's not necessary for us to stir up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung a million times. I didn't understand that. They had to sting me a million times.
Given all that is known about Diddy and his cohorts, it is possible he and Smith might have done a few things in the past. Both have similar accusations from the 90s, suggesting a similar background. In the 90s, Wendy Williams accused Diddy of sleeping with men, though she didn't name names. This allegedly resulted in her firing from the station, at least according to Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal. However, the rumors about Diddy's affairs with men persisted, linking him to several male celebrities such as Christopher Williams, Brashear Gray, Meek Mill, Usher, and Justin Bieber. Similarly, Smith has faced rumors about his sexuality since his breakthrough role. In the 90s, he was romantically linked to his Fresh Prince co-star, Dwayne Martin.
His ex-assistant recently did an interview which claimed that he walked in on Will Smith and Dwayne Martin having sex, which...
And those rumors have been around forever too.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. He actually reached out, well, him or his assistant, whatever, reached out to me for an interview, and I'm like, I ain't touching that shit. Nah, y'all can have that. You have to go to some other platform for that crap. But yeah, no.
But again, listen.
And that might be the thing that she's holding over him. Maybe this. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's true. Please don't sue me, Will Smith. Please don't sue me. But what I'm saying is, let's just say, like, she thought they were in some monogamous relationship and she walks in on this shit and was like, oh, hell no.
Again.
Because remember, if there was a tell-all book from her saying that shit, oh my God. Oh my God.
Listen, we live in this dangerous, irresponsible age of social media and telephones.
Yes.
And, people wanted to, I always find it rather ironic and funny that the timing is whenever something happens, everybody all of a sudden wants to come out of the woodwork and claim this and that for a paycheck or a book deal or whatever opportunity.
Just clout.
Whatever, whatever opportunity that they feel can help them. Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing is, we don't know if it's true. Could it be? Yes, but we don't know. Yeah. And until we have absolute proof, this just seems like rich people problems.
Of course, the two men soundly refuted the allegations, indicating that they were industry colleagues and great friends. Unlike Diddy, Will Smith preferred the diplomatic route by trying to smooth talk himself out of issues instead of using his influence and power to get people fired. Now, all these are conjectures based on Orlando Brown's recent revelations, but as I said earlier, Orlando Brown could be right. After all, he wasn't entirely wrong with Diddy. So it is possible that Will Smith did give his young body to all these people in a bid for money, power, and fame. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.